So at last, the time has come to galvanize, or not, or just to make the mesh. Okay, first I will hide those eyes, delete them. We don't want these eyes. Those we want. These heads we will delete. Okay, and let's see what else. Okay, I think everything else is cool. And we'll start by selecting this. We have no symmetry, and start masking in order to make this form. So the main thing here is I don't want to mask anything but this plane. I don't want to go like this here, because this will make my life a little bit more complicated. So I like to be exactly like here, and I want my mask to be as straight as possible and as close as possible to the edges, but not exactly as close as possible, just to be like this. I will be able to make it work when I extract it just in a second, and you may see how it will be. So first I will make this, and then it's ready to be extracted, I think. So let's extract it, go to extract, and it's a little bit too far away, so if we move, extract and move, and we'll see it's disappeared. So extract, move, no problem. We'll make the thickness a little bit less and extract, and now it's good, accept. Now we can see we have this. We don't need everything from here. We will press Ctrl Shift and click on the top polygroup, because there are different polygroups. So the top polygroup will, you see we have selected only this. So now we will del hidden, and then we will make zero measure on the lowest polygon count. Zero measure. I will explain this very thorough here, and then after that I will just make it and say what I make, but I will not explain it exactly. So now we have this plane, which is a low poly plane, and I will zero mesh it again. And if you have some problems with the geometry, you have to just zero mesh until we get it right. So now we have this thing, which will be our main shoulder thing. So now, what can I do? I can put my pivot. I can put my pivot wherever I want with Alt click. Alt click here, 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 whatever. So it was somewhere else, and I'm putting it here. And with Alt click, you are putting it along the normals of the plane. But we need to, with Alt, just rotate a little bit and then make it more broad. And you can see we have already the broad plane. And this plane is pretty nice, although we don't need exactly all the vertices here. So we'll probably get rid of some of them in order to have more straight, because now you can see it's a little bit curvy on the edge, and we want it as straight as possible, which can be achieved in a few ways. One of those ways is, for example, I can do this. I don't know if this will be the best for our case, but we can do, for example, let me see, can do this, and then do this. But I'm not sure this is the best way to make it straight, although it's a valid way. Let's try to zero mesh it again. Okay, now 3 vertices, but now it's a little bit more straight in my opinion. So if we don't want this to be curvy like this, we can go to Z Modeler brush, and we will work a lot with this brush. I will show you just a little bit of this brush, how it works. So now this brush, you can select polygons, you can select edges or vertices. In our case, we want to remove those loops here, here and here. So we will select this loop, and you can see with Alt we will delete edge loop. With Shift we will okay, what Shift? I don't like this. So with Alt delete, and just click, and with Alt click we will deleting those. And we need only this for now. For the other one, I can either make a mask and extract, or just with control move. I'm holding control now and just moving, and we can make this. And with this, with a bigger brush from the bigger distance, we can just adjust it and make it so it works. Or we can always go and make extraction, and probably we will make extraction because now it will be a little bit difficult for me to put it into place because it's not very nice. Yeah, this should be like this and this, and we should delete some loops here, one after another, and this of course will take time, but no, we don't have to worry because everything good takes time. It's just inevitable, so it's cool. We have to just accept this. So I will try to make it like this, and this part I'll try to maintain the same thickness around this area because they are almost touching there. So if we make it fat, we can do it, but we'll see. So now I will push this a little bit, and yes. So you may ask yourself how he will make this thing here. I will make it pretty easy. I have an idea, but let me see if I can do it. So first, I wanna make this a little bit more simple by deleting some of those, because with lesser polygons, it's much easier to work with, and it's much easier to make them more straight and more where we want them than with a lot of polygons. So I'm doing this. I'm selecting Move Topology Brush, and it allows me to move separate meshes inside a subtool. And you know that the subtool is this thing here. These are a lot of subtools here in this tool. There are like 12 subtools in this subtool. Okay, visible count, we can make them, all of them visible, or just make at least 24 visible, but for now we don't need this. This is just informative. So I will make them also different polygroups, because this will help me later just to mask one and work on another. And I'm looking at them separately. Okay, here I can select only the one polygroup to be visible and the other is invisible for now, so I can work under it. And this is good. That's why I make them a few polygroups, different polygroups. So now I will just do this, and we want this kind of protector here. So we go to Z modeler, go to edge loop, and select this. So now we are on insert single edge loop. So this is edge actions here, and this is a target, and the target is single edge loop. We will make just one loop here, and I'm just holding my pen down, and when I release it, it will be on. So this one I want to go up, and this is pretty easy. We have to just extrude all these loop polygons here. So we go to a poly this time, press space, and you will get scared. Don't be. We just have to extrude, find extrude, and not all polygons. We are using mostly extrude, polygroup, and mostly this. So you have to know extrude, polygroups, something delete, sometimes delete. So extrude, a single poly, all polygons will extrude everything, but we know only one polygroup. So we are using mostly this, polyloop, and polygroup all. The others, not that much. So they can be a little bit less, because for example brush radius, I have never used this. Behind and polygroup, I don't think I have ever used it, and all of these, no. So it will be extrude, polyloop. So this polyloop will be extruded, like this. Amazing, right? Yeah, I know. And after this, we'll do something else entirely. But I will show you. Now, we want to delete something because now we have thickness here and we don't have thickness here. We have to make them equal. So I will use the delete function. So we go to a poly, delete, poly loop again. So this poly loop will be deleted, and then this poly loop also will be deleted. And now we're left with only this, which is pretty cool by me. I don't have problem with this. So now I will just use the move brush so I can move it according to our 3D sketch. And you can see that the 3D sketch is pretty important because now we're very easy to determine where this will be and just to put it there. And the forms also can be according to the 3D sketch. And I'm talking like this because I am thinking. Yeah, slow talking. It's not modern talking, slow talking. And of course, when I'm making this according to the 3D sketch, I will take this and just see it solo in order to see what I can do else. But this is pretty important, so I'm taking my time here with this. Not all of those things will require such level of precision, but this thing is just a little bit more tricky. It's a little bit unusual element of the armor, so we have to think it through and make it right, and then we will be happy with the result, of course. If you do it just to do it, just for like this, I'm doing it and I have done it, probably most of the time you will be sorry after you put this in, for example, in ArtStation or whatever you wanna show your work in, and you will get almost no likes, because people see when you have tried and make things right, and when you are just lazy bastard or something. Yeah, maybe not bastard, maybe just lazy. Why not? Problem. It's cool. Okay, this one goes like this. I'm not sure, probably we should remove this, but let's Control Shift and click this here, remove this, and just move and move and move. I'm just continuously trying to move those things, whatever they have to be, in my opinion. And ZBrush is not the best with low poly, but it can work with low poly, and it has tools, so don't worry about it. We'll be able to do mostly everything, not exactly everything, but most of the things. So we can try and add loop here, just to make this thing go like this. And yeah, let's see it in solo. Okay, I want to make it relatively straight because in the 2D sketch it was not. So the main idea here is to make it low poly so we can make it very much straighter than the low poly, than the 3D sketch, I mean. And you can see we have a pretty big shadow in this area, which is unfortunate, but it's like this. We cannot do anything about it. No, we can, of course. We can change the lighting, but we don't want. So let's make it double. And when we make it double, we can see from both sides. This will help us a little bit. So probably this thing, if it was real, it will be like this side, like this. So we cannot interfere with the head. But it's in the concept, I don't see it as this. Let's see it closely. Probably it's more like perpendicular in the concept. So I'll hide it, the concept, so it will not interfere with my creativity here. And I will just make it a little bit like this. And let's see it here in the back. We have it like this, and probably this will be okay. So now we can make these small things here. Small thing. How? Just go ahead and control click. When we go to a pivot, either with W, E or R keys, we can go to this pivot, and then control clicking on some polygroup will just lighten it up and everything else will be masked. So I have masked everything else, and I can just do. Okay, the mesh is partly hidden. They're hidden. Control and drag. I'm pressing control, and we'll have this. So we don't need all of these. So what I'll do is hide. Let's not hide completely everything. Hide this and hide this, and probably this will do. Let's delete hidden for now and just try to make it fit where we want it. I will put it in the middle here. This will be a little bit tricky, but with a big move brush we can always adjust it accordingly and everything should be fine. So big move brush from bigger distance will move a lot of vertices at once, so it will be just a big help for us. Alright, I'm trying to do it as close as possible to the 3D sketch we made, because, you know, we made this 3D sketch exactly with this in mind, to have easier modeling after that. But it doesn't have to be so jagged here. We'll see. In a different way. Okay. Alright, this is, let me see, solo. Pretty nice. And let's make this thing by just control copying the... By control copying, I mean holding control while moving this, so this is control copying. And then of course we will remove this, and probably this, maybe this. Delete hidden, and then just fix it. And since the other things are masked, it's very easy to make this go wherever we want. And as simple those forms are, the better we'll be able to fix them together. Of course, we will make adjustments later, because this is one of the most frustrating parts for me, at least, this shoulder. Where to put them and everything, and I will fix this and work on it probably until the end of time, or at least until we finish this model, but we will see. I'm just guessing here since I don't know exactly, but this is our shoulder and it's a metal shoulder, so let's see it. It looks pretty good, of course. For a low poly version of the shoulder, it's not exactly finished, but we will leave it like this probably for a little bit, because we'll concentrate on exporting everything to have just meshes for everything, and then we can go ahead and move topology brush, use it. We can go ahead and just refine. If we have everything, it will be just exporting, and then just refining. I think this is a good way to do one thing only when you need. I will just put one loop here, since this looks that to be like this a little bit, and like this here. Yes, and when we make the thickness, we can adjust it even more, which is not a problem. But yeah, we'll see. It's normal thing. I think it's good. Okay. So now we can go ahead and start the leather part here, but this will be in the next video. So yeah, go and sleep. No, continue to the next video, of course. Yes.